Um, I guess I should launch Obsidian so I can like store my fucking
No more
timestamps.
investigation.
This man just accosted my ears. Oh, holy shit. My volume was down. Yo, I said the stream was starting scuffed. I'm not a liar. I know we all wish I was, but like, soon. Like, I can be inaccurate. I'm just not a liar. So, hey, how are you? We're gonna start with coffee, so I have time to like, we have amendments to do, and we have tab groups, and they're called like what? And there's an Elmo one. Did you know that Elmo's being an asshole? I should have archived this. Nope, it's still there. Did you know that Elmo's being a bit of an asshole? Or was being a bit of an asshole? Did you know that Elmo put more slurs per capita than that one person that tried to speedrun saying every racial slur that somehow happens to be the intro to a VOD some other day? That was bananas. Right? Is Elmo's account hopefully like locked the fuck down now? Because he's gonna keep calling out for the Epstein shit to come out.
Into Epstein, no special prosecutor. Trump is tripling, quadrupling down on the idea that it's all a big hoax, despite a lot of his party campaigning on this.
It was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net, and so they try and do the Democrats' work.
That's right. If you care about accountability for a trafficking ring, you're doing.
I wouldn't call Republicans or Democrats stupid. He's doing that thing that I criticized Mr. Biden for last year. He's being toxic. He's calling the voting base something foul. I'm gonna be pissy. I've aired my pissy. I called it fucking disgusting when Mr. Biden did it. I'm gonna say it's a disgusting choice when people evoke that. Bro. Don't talk shit on like
And foolish Republicans fall into the net.
No more investigations into Epstein, no special prosecutor. Trump is tripling, quadrupling down on the idea that it's all a big hoax.
Well, he'd kind of been curating the public shit to not be like this. I was at least proud he wasn't perpetuating it for a minute.
Hoax, despite a lot of his party campaigning on this.
It was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax.
I mean, he is like very like he is, you know, invested in getting this resolved and a few other things as well. So I can see why you might be like a little bit someone give this bitch a Snickersy, right? Like I can see how you get here given what he's been given to deal with. The corpus of shit he has to deal with and the onus of time which has been put upon him. He must feel very put upon and probably very frustrated. But that's no excuse, sir. What the fuck?
It's perpetrated by the Democrats and some stupid Republicans and foolish.
Yeah, that's why I was critical of it. If I don't let, nope, I get bitchy when anyone starts calling any of the partisan people like outright that. That's all. Like, I don't care who it is. I make fun of the partisan people, but I don't call them not smart. I don't go for ad hominem or group homonyms at the fucking partisan people. I say they are like oftentimes blocked away from the joy of split ballot voting and to remember to like hire the most qualified for the job. I tell them that because I love them. I just think they're being utilized for a very, very silly little fucking ad ploy to rake in some like ad dollars for the ad people that wants to perpetuate that candidates need to drop more money on ads. I don't know. The quick engagement shit, that's the part that gets me. It's like this slower churn engagement of reading policy. I like that part, but it's just the like, meh.
Republicans fall into the net, and so
Sir, don't call them stupid. They're people.
they try and do the Democrats' work.
That's right. If you care about accountability for a trafficking ring, you're doing the work of the Democrats, apparently, and Trump doesn't want your support. This is another post from Truth Social where Trump says that it's a.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing. In his first term, remember how, come midterms, he was a bit remiss, for policy's sake, that he didn't excise everyone that wouldn't go with him. And I do see this as maybe, like, purity test Maybe. You don't know. I don't know. I'm not presuming it is, but I'm reading it as it could be because it's getting closer to midterms, right? Like, we're getting there. People are going to have to start putting money and time into it. Canvassing time is nearing. And if he wants to contest some people, like through just investing in others, that would be a good time to do this, I'd think, right? I feel like that would be the time that he might want to do that. Because in his first term, he didn't do this. And he then, through midterms, got the new elected officials were able to push back more because the ones that were in with him didn't put time into like local policy in a meaningful way. And they then got like oftentimes voted out in some cases. So I wonder how it's going to go this time. I wonder if it's going to result. Howdy, how are you doing? I wonder if it's going to result in like direct funding or otherwise advocacy for certain candidates. Because honestly, like tactically, if I were him, it would be the tactful thing to do, right? To like root out the dissenters.
Scam, we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, despite him being one of the people heavily trafficking in this, and saying my past supporters have bought into this hook, line, and sinker. Clearly saying, if you care about the release of the Epstein files, you're not a real supporter of Trump anymore. You're a past supporter. Saying about his own supporters, let these weaklings continue because I don't want their support anymore.
I mean, like, would we be good if, like, a high elected court got to see it and judges were to confer on what was rather produced? Would that satisfy us? Do we want the higher courts to, like, have time to litigate the redactions? Is this what we want? I don't fucking, like, if anything, at least giving the people, like, an end date towards it would be something. It'll become unclassified sooner or later. Good luck.
Obviously felt like a huge
There's a whole framework for that thing.
betrayal to a lot of the people who have supported Trump.
A lot of those people are going to be still alive, living long and strong, hard-working Americans. And they're going to read that shit when it's declassified. What's that, like 40-ish years if we're lucky? Oh yeah, they're going to be kicking. Like, some people will be around on spite and just piss in their veins. But if you're going to live, I guess spite's a way. I'd prefer you live knowing that you're all equally appreciated in the world, but
Expected him to come through on this promise. The last thing most of them were holding on to was the idea of a special prosecutor who could go into the Epstein case and try.
yeah, but I do feel like everyone that gives him pushback that is in the GOP might be without a job. I feel like he's getting more. I feel like he knows from his first term to be cautious of people that have a higher investment in engagement and public outreach, may it be beneficial or otherwise, may it be superficial or otherwise, rather. So we'll
get
see.
some transparency. In fact, it was reported that Donald Trump was okay with appointing a special prosecutor. This was according to John Solomon, who claimed this in an interview.
Any prompting, without me even asking yet, he says, I also think if that has a special prosecutor, that prosecutor should just look at anything credible about Jeffrey Epstein, and let's get this resolved. Let's get the American people the most transparency. Now, what does that mean? If there's a special prosecutor, this gets out of Pam Body's hands, it goes to an independent person, they look at it, they release what they can about it, and they tell the American people whatever the grand jury can.
Y'all, fuck it, chat. I'm saying it. Why did Mr. Biden and Mr. Trump just verbally attack Republicans and call them stupid in the last fiscal fucking year? Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, why the fuck? That is like the most toxic ass thing. Bro, you're a fucking leader of the free goddamn world. That is a portion of the people. You were constituents and don't even have to be aligned with you. You still have to fucking represent their fucking asses. Why the fuck are these motherfuckers calling people stupid? It irritates me. Mr. Biden called them stupid, and now Mr. Trump called them stupid. And I'm sorry. I know many very lovely Republican folks as well as many unaffected and lefty folk. I don't give a fuck. I tell them to stop fighting. Why? Brother, stop it.
Squeeze out of it.
Now, this had many people saying, oh, this is great
I'll make them sit and break bread with me.
news. This will
There's no escaping me. I will bring everyone to the table of kindness.
bring accountability, transparency. Here's Benny Johnson talking about it.
or they will hear me complain every day for the rest of my natural fucking life until nothing is fucking left but ash and cinder, because I will ramble and rave and bitch so goddamn much that I parch the world of its fucking oxygen supply and leave it a fucking barren, desiccated husk. Be kind, or I can do something like that.
And a dramatic change in approach.
Me.
Very powerful people inside the administration are pushing for a special counsel, full press briefings on Epstein findings, and so on. And this is because of our voices that cannot be ignored.
Right. Voices that cannot be ignored, except they were just today by Caroline Leavitt, who says Trump is not in favor of a special prosecutor at all. It's not going to happen.
The president said that he floated the idea of a special prosecutor in the Epstein case. Can you confirm that? And has he asked the Attorney General to do this, to appoint a special prosecutor to look it over?
Well, the idea was floated from someone in the media to the president. The president would not recommend a special prosecutor in the Epstein case. That's how he feels. And as for his discussions with the Attorney General, I'm not sure.
Wow. That's how he feels. He feels like, we don't need more transparency. We don't need more accountability. We need to hush this up, okay? Trump has also responded when asked that he has nothing to do with a special investigation.
President Trump, would you consider appointing a special counsel to investigate the Jeffrey Epstein investigation?
I have nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it, guys. We've already done the investigation, and you should be pleased with what we put out. This was also said by Trump himself, the idea that we've already given you everything credible.
She says, I gave you all the credible information. And if she finds any more credible information, she'll give that too. What more can she do than that?
Right. She's given us all the credible information. If she finds more, she will give us more. But we already got it. If you remember, Pam Bondi already gave us the phase 1, which just included a lot of already released information. At the time, they called this the first phase, which sheds light on Epstein's extensive network. An extensive network that now includes 2 people, Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Really extensive. Kash Patel, by the way, quoted saying there will be no cover-ups. No.
See, I personally don't care if we the people see it. I care that the courts see it, and I care that it is dealt with appropriately. I care that whatever the outcome is, that if there are victims, they're taken care of appropriately, and if there's someone who made victims, they're taken care of appropriately, right? That's all I fucking care about. I don't give a fuck if I never get to see it. I would rather the victims not have their shit busted out. That said, I would hope that the courts would do it, because I'd expect, if anyone, the people who are literally going to be litigating the fucking redactions might be the ones who are willing to, like, give us an actual taciturn description of what the fuck is valid for us to know as a people, if anything. Like, to be fair, like, trafficking is a crime and should be dealt with in the courts and not in the public sphere. Like, we really don't need to know about too much of it beyond a person did it, the magnitude, and what the punishment was. The rest I'm not sure how, like, I'm not here to say that, like, I understand it was promised, and that's what's making this very odd for folks, is because your word is your bond, and your bond is your word, and, well, Mr. Trump said that he was going to do this. I may not think that I would like to see, documentation of a fucking violent series of sex crimes with details of, like, the everything to the general public, because we have already been quite excitable and doing harm unto each other, which I find remarkably inappropriate. So, I don't know. Like, take it or leave it, but I just would rather the courts sort it out, and they can debrief us if they so choose. Like, I say just they need unfettered access.
Missing documents, except, of course, all the
and auditing within themselves, I suppose.
Incredible information, right?
Those are the things that they usually have, but you'd expect to, like, have a onus on it, especially in a more private venue.
If you have credible information, you have incredible information that they're gonna hide from us, I guess. With these influencers who had the binder, I guess this is part of the Democrat hoax. Can't understand why they would do that. Now, as a rewind though, what has really the FBI DOJ released that wasn't already public? Well, one of the biggest things was the tape, right? The tape of the prison cell, which actually wasn't the prison cell. It was the common area, which couldn't see Epstein's cell, which
I understand this is a bone of contention. I'm more concerned about the victims of assault at the hands of people who were able to assault them than I am about a man committing suicide in a jail cell and the stipulation over if it was a murder or not. Like, that part is the least of my concerns. There are people who were saying they were assaulted. I think that is much more meaningful, like, to ensure that they are acknowledged by the court in a way that gets them reparation. Because if the Catholic Church can give reparations right now. It's one of my... hold on. Ugh. Titties. I'll find it later.
Definitively proves everything, except not only did it not show Epstein's cell, not only were there blind spots in the tape, we also had a Wired report showing that it was a modified.
If the Pope can get reparations for the people who have been the victims of abuse by the church, then, you know, the least we can do is ensure that the victims of assault get their cases investigated, reparation if need be, because they're going to have to pay for therapy for possibly the rest of their fucking life. I don't fucking know, man. This shit's been tumultuous. Like, it isn't going to cost that much. Litigation costs more. Litigation for us to get it in the public fucking sphere costs a lot, probably.
File. This was something that went into Premiere Pro, was saved multiple times. We don't know what was changed, if anything. But now we have new reporting from Wired saying that Epstein's prison video had nearly 3 minutes cut out, which started at the, quote, missing minute. So I ask again, what credible information has really been released? The only thing that's been released is, ironically, not credible. Not only is this...
I mean, it seems like the videotape might be a release because it's sensationalizable. And that's usually something to placate the people, especially by a populist president, which, again, it's not just Mr. Trump who does that. It's also Mr. Sanders, who was trying to run. So it's not like populism is a partisan delineation. It's a change in times and a different modality for how people interact in a certain sphere for policy enforcement.
Great for people like Prince Andrew, who's now traveling around. Guess who else this is great for? Ghislaine Maxwell, who's now appealing her whole conviction on the grounds that the government already gave her a non-prosecution agreement, or more specifically, Epstein a non-prosecution agreement. And we have this statement from Ghislaine Maxwell's family and her counsel of record saying, quote, "I'd be surprised if President Trump knew his lawyers were asking the Supreme Court to let the government break."
There you go. I named the stream appropriately on everything I forgot to. I wanted to name it "Every Man is a High Value Man to Me," because I'm tired of people getting their fifis hurt and stomped on by motherfuckers who tell them they aren't worth shit.
A deal. Judges have previously dismissed her lawyer's arguments that she should have never been prosecuted because of a weird
Bitches be wrong.
agreement drafted more than 15 years ago. But now, of course, this is at play again, given all the recent revelations and the fact that the family seems pretty
reps, and revelations
directly to be appealing to Trump, which is an interesting turn of events if Maxwell has anything on him or someone else in power. They actually say explicitly he's the ultimate deal maker, and I'm sure he'd agree when the United States gives its word, it should keep it. With all the talk about who's being prosecuted and who isn't, it's especially unfair that Ghislaine Maxwell remains in prison based on a promise that the U.S. government made and broke. This itself raises large concerns, given that Trump not only seems to want the Epstein thing to go away, but also that he's wished Maxwell well many times.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. She's now in jail. Yeah.
I mean, you should wish people well in general. Like, that should, like, you should always wish even the, like, most egregious things to be well with time, at least. Right? Like, that's, you have to at least try to be, like, I don't know. I wish he gave the same consideration when he was, like, literally calling his base dumb. I'm not gonna let the fucking anyone call anyone. Like, I know. I will stand motherfuckers down. I'm fighting the platform. Hold on. I'm winning. I'm a winner. Alright, so this is Letterkenny. It's blurry, and I changed the contrast.
Stuart, I always
So,
support you.
Stuart,
This is our place to dance. To disco.
there is dancing here.
Forget.
It's time to boogie.
I'm here to street preach. After the
He's here to
Church of
street
Spiritual
preach.
Humanism,
Isn't the Church of Human
Revelations.
No, isn't
Reps. Revelations.
Reps.
Revelation. Revelations, and you two are doing rap. There will be no rips done in his presence. However, I can envision
Y'all
a
know
scenario
about
in which
this?
I'm doing revelations and you two are doing reps, and I'm watching and I like it.
just reps.
Rips.
Reps.
Revelations.
Reps.
Revelations.
Reps.
Revelation.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Sorry. It was very important.
I wish you well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good.
Prison actions given.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
And that Trump not only seems to want the Epstein thing to go away, but also that he's wished Maxwell well.
Yeah, that's just like a common courtesy thing that you ought to do. Now, I'm still miffed at him for calling his base of the GOP stupid. I find that to be really fucked up, especially after I'm still bitchy that Mr. Biden did the same thing. Why are you all picking on people? Stop picking on the GOP. They're people too. Partisan goobers.
Many times.
Why do the partisan goobers keep tearing each other apart? Like, you're tearing this family apart.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. She's now in jail. Yeah,
As
I
she
wish her
wants to
well.
to
I'd wish you
everyone.
well. I'd wish a lot of people well.
Yeah, it's the bare fucking minimum of human fucking decency. They're supposed to be in for rehabilitative treatment. Even if they don't get out for the rest of their days, they still should grow as a person.
Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty.
So pretty clearly, the president seems to be extending
Okay, now also
his sympathies to Maxwell in very bizarre terms when asked, hey, do you think this person's going to turn in rich and powerful people? Well, we wish her well. So that worries me when then the Maxwell family and her lawyer are pretty explicitly
I think it's just a nice distancing, honestly. I'm not reading it as outwardly malicious. I just withholding. I just think it's like if you have maybe withholding in the sense that if you don't want to say something, I don't know. It seems like a little presumptuous and assumptive.
appealing to the president who wished her well, saying, hey, this whole thing should be barred because of Epstein's former agreement.
I try not to imagine that I'm in people's heads and play pretend and think that I'm all psychic. Because if you remember in Rugrats, when they meant to say psychic, they said psycho.
With the prosecutors. Speaking of
For everyone else that is ancient as fuck.
prosecutors, by the way, Maureen Comey was just fired by the DOJ, with many speculating this is an order that comes from the top, from Trump. Now, Maureen was the prosecutor in the Diddy, Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell cases, with some people saying the timing is too coincidental with the whole Epstein investigation and Maureen Comey maybe knowing something about it. The other way to look at this is, of course, that Trump has hated James Comey, her father, for a very long time. James Comey, of course, doesn't seem to like Trump too much. He recently published a photo of Seychelles saying 8647, referring to the 47th
Oh yeah, that person. Yeah, that's really inappropriate.
president of the United States. So it could be.
I mean, here's the thing. So people have speculated that that means to eliminate someone's life or to take them out like the trash. And there's been a lot of speculation over what it means. It is a thing that I've heard some of the discourse that I can agree with is where it is also evoked in a kitchen for when you're busting down your shit and you're cleaning up your fucking station. That's an antiquated ass thing at the very least. I grew up around kitchen people. I'm a kitchen people. I know the lore of our elders. So it could be serve them up a fucking, just bust the table. And that would be not that. It warrants an investigation, sure. But has it happened?
Shell saying 8647, referring to the 47th president of the United States. So it could be the case this is a revenge firing. It could be over the handling of the Diddy trial, or again, it could be over the Epstein Maxwell cases. But on the whole, what we all want is just more accountability, more transparency. We want these people to release the full files. So on that, I'm going to explore a couple leads that maybe will pan out. There's been a push by the House to have the Epstein files released. This has now become a bipartisan supported thing. Previously, it was voted against, but now they're trying to force a vote. I've kind of stated that I'm not sure that this is going to get somewhere. I hope it does, though, just to be clear. I hope they release it. I
hope it gets somewhere, as in I hope the courts are able to actually address people who are illicit in it in a way that is appropriate and that doesn't I don't care about a social media fucking trying to make fucking content on it, motherfuckers, okay? I really don't give a fucking shit. There's people that are hurt by it, or people that are saying that they're hurt at the very least. That should be investigated seriously. And we are just going to continue to wait for, I suppose, hoping a higher court will just decide to read it themselves and make a determination on what may or may not be released to the public. Hopefully. We'll see.
I think it's been covered up for so long. I guess I'm so cynical about it. But I guess in the words
Yes. Well, you're also quite pissed off, and that's okay. That's okay. A lot of people are pissed off. You're a good representation of the everyman, and I appreciate that, but it's usually why I go to Turkey Tom. for my or turkey Uton or Asmongold for my just the guy on the street takes, but today it's coming from coffee. It's nice to have the man who used to hang out with an android humanized a bit more, isn't it?
Of Trump, I wish them well. We wish the House well in trying to release it. I will say for the millionth time, this is not a left or right issue. This is the people versus the else. There's also this report from the New York Times about the $1.5 billion they're trying to chase down. This was handled by JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank. These both paid fines for their involvement in moving money for Jeffrey Epstein. Here, the legislators are trying to actually chase down some of the funds. Notably, the New York Times reports that there was a huge suspicious activity report, also called a SAR, reviewed by the congressional team that was filed in late 2019 by JP Morgan for $1.1 billion. The report covered 4,700 transactions dating back to 2003, including payments to women from Belarus, Russia, Turkmenistan. Many of Epstein's victims included young women from Eastern European countries. So I will say, as many people have, follow the money is a great idea in a case like this, where Jeffrey Epstein had a bunch of mysterious wealth. Unfortunately, I have to say it's an uphill battle when the most powerful person in America, Donald Trump, seems dead set on closing these files and trying to get it to all go away. And
I mean, okay, but historically, the president trying to seal some data hasn't always worked, right? Wouldn't there be an older event, let's say, done in American history, where another world leader decided it would be a good idea to maybe Goldwater up some fucking, not Goldwater, am I mistaken? Hold on. Am I misspeaking? Because now I'm thinking I mean something else. I'm bad at life.
I also encourage people to be suspicious of when a president says something is a hoax, despite the fact he said for years there are powerful people implicated in these files, even saying that he was going to be transparent, there was going to be a wave of
Watergate. I'm thinking of Watergate. Why did I think the other thing? Yeah, Watergate scandal. Yee. I can't believe I misfighted it and called it the wrong name. Holy shit. I misnumbered a motherfucker. Anywho's, Richard Nixon. I'm not a crook. Classic banger by fucking rich man Big Dick Nixon. Big Dick never gonna miss getting a titty pick Nixon. God damn it. Real man's man, a motherfucker, a beast of a man. His name is Dick. You know he swangs. Anywho's, the Watergate scandal was a political scandal in the United States involving the administration of President Richard Nixon. Began in 72, ended in 74. Led to his resignation in 74. So it revolved around members of a group associated with Nixon's re-election campaign who broke into the DNC headquarters in Watergate Hotel. Like, that's all. That's it. Just don't forget your history. We've been here.
Accountability, only now they're covering it all up. They want you to trust them. It says something is like this, where Jeffrey Epstein had a bunch of 100 transactions dating back to 2003, including payments to women from Belarus, Russia, Turkmenistan. Many of Epstein's victims included young women from Eastern European countries. So I will say, as many people have, follow the money is a great idea in a case like this, where Jeffrey Epstein had a bunch of mysterious wealth. Unfortunately, I have to say it's an uphill battle when the most powerful person in America, Donald Trump, seems dead set on closing these files and trying to get it to all go away. And I also encourage people to be suspicious of when a president says something is a hoax, despite the fact he said for years there are powerful people implicated in these files, even saying that he was going to be transparent, there was going to be a wave of accountability. Only now they're covering it all up. They want you to trust them, and if you don't, you're stupid and or a weakling.
I find it reprehensible that Mr. Biden and Mr. Trump have just called Republican voters stupid in the last fiscal year. I'm sorry, they're people too. I think the partisan people get into some silly shit sometimes and they tear at each other's throats sometimes, but I still value them equally, and I deeply prefer if they stop trying to justify being shitheads to each other, because it's fucking, if you care about everyone, it fucking sucks when they start throwing hands at each other. Fucking A. Anyways, I gotta piss really badly. Here's a song about a man called Ian Foote, who would probably call me a soy fucking cunt for that, but honestly, I don't care. He calls people horrible things. I just think that's how he says hello. I don't know. I don't try to figure stuff out. I'm just a person. I don't know things. I have to pee. I started the stream without peeing. What kind of degenerate, distracted loser does the thing like that, right? What kind of fucking piece of shit-ass loser? I didn't even potty. Bro, you know how long I've been sitting on a full-ass bladder? A hot minute, brother. A hot fucking minute, tell you that.